Man, it finally feels good to talk about the Ravens in a positive way again, doesn't it? For weeks, all we've done is break down losses, point fingers, talk about injuries, drama, and frustration. But now it's different. The energy is back. The Ravens actually pulled off a complete win, and for the first time in what feels like forever, there's real optimism in the air. I mean, you could feel it from the first whistle to the last snap. Offense, defense, special teams, everyone was in sync. It wasn't perfect, but it was exactly what this team needed heading into a short week against Miami. Let's be real. Todd Monken was the story of the night. The man's been through it lately. The past couple of weeks, the noise around him was loud. Reports, leaks, anonymous players talking about how he was tough to work with, how the offense wasn't responding to him, how the locker room didn't have confidence. The kind of stuff that can shake a coach's reputation. But what did Monken do? He came out and dropped a masterclass on the Chicago Bears. No Lamar Jackson. No Superman to bail him out. Just a backup quarterback, a banged-up roster, and a whole lot of people waiting to see if he'd crumble. Instead, he flipped the script. And when the final whistle blew, Monken let it all out. The cameras caught him losing his mind on the sideline, in the best way possible. He was fired up, shouting, celebrating with fans, just raw emotion pouring out. You could tell this one meant something more. After all the criticism, all the doubts, all the whispers, he had his moment to say, "I told you so," without actually saying it. The man's been catching heat all season, but this one reminded everyone exactly why he's here. I mean, think about it. The guy's being blamed for the offense when half the problems weren't even on him. Lamar's been out, the offensive line's been inconsistent, the receivers have dropped passes, and yet somehow the narrative became Monken's lost the locker room. Come on. It's like being the one student who actually aces the test, but the teacher still blames you for the class average being bad. That's how it felt. So yeah, I get why he was emotional. I'd be emotional too. What made the performance even sweeter was how balanced the team looked. Tyler Huntley, filling in for Lamar, wasn't perfect, but he managed the game beautifully. The offense flowed. There was motion before the snap, creative formations, and smart use of personnel. Getting Pat Rickard involved again made a huge difference in setting up the run game. Monken didn't overcomplicate things. He adjusted to what he had and executed it perfectly. That's coaching at its best. Now, don't get me wrong. Monken's not above criticism. Nobody is. There are still things to clean up, especially in the red zone. Some play calls down near the goal line could have been better, and we all remember those failed short yardage plays. But overall, this was one of those games where you saw his creativity and adaptability shine. The kind of performance that reminds you why he was brought here from Georgia in the first place. To bring a new level of sophistication to this offense, something that maximizes Lamar's talents while still building a system that can function without him. And that's exactly what he did. Without Lamar, everyone expected a disaster. Instead, we saw precision, balance, and energy. The team believed. They played fast. They played free. And most importantly, they had fun again. That's been missing. You could see it in their body language these past few weeks. Players hanging their heads, frustrated on the sideline. The energy just gone. But this game? It was different. Every big play was met with smiles, fist bumps, guys celebrating together. That's when the Ravens are at their best, when the confidence comes from every level of the field. Monken's been one of the most misunderstood figures on this team. Fans love to talk about coordinators like they're either geniuses or complete disasters. But football's never that simple. You can have the perfect play call, and if one guy misses his assignment, it falls apart. That's what's been happening to the Ravens all season. But when it finally clicks, like it did against Chicago, you see how dangerous this offense can be, even without their MVP quarterback. And let's give some credit to Huntley too. The guy's been thrown into some tough situations, and this time, he answered the call. Managed the clock, stayed calm under pressure, and delivered when it mattered. That doesn't happen without trust between him and Monken. You could see it. The rhythm, the communication, the confidence in each other. That's something that builds over time, and this game might just be the turning point for both of them. What really stood out was how Monken used the running game to control the tempo. Derrick Henry looked like the bulldozer we know he can be, while Keaton Mitchell brought that lightning spark every time he touched the ball. Only 4 carries, but he made everyone count. The man averaged over 10 yards per attempt, showing the burst and vision we've been begging to see since preseason. It's crazy that it took this long for him to get touches, but now that he has, there's no turning back. John Harbaugh even admitted after the game that they made it a priority during the bye week to get Mitchell more involved. They literally tagged plays just for him. That tells you how explosive this kid is. And it worked. Every time he got the ball, you could feel the defense tense up. He's that kind of player who forces teams to adjust. The fans have been calling for it all year, and now it's clear. This offense is more dynamic when Mitchell's on the field. He's got that Alvin Kamara-type balance, that Reggie Bush electricity, that ability to turn nothing into something. And pairing him with Derrick Henry gives Baltimore one of the most dangerous backfield duos in the league. One thunder, one lightning. That's a nightmare for defenses. Harbaugh said after the game that Mitchell made a big statement. He proved he's ready. He's been working hard, and he earned every opportunity he got. And honestly, you could see that hunger in his runs. Every cut, every burst, it was like he was saying, "You should have played me sooner." And he's right. The Ravens needed that juice, that spark that changes the entire vibe of a game. Now, going into Thursday against the Dolphins, the challenge gets tougher. Miami's no joke. Fast, physical, and explosive. But this win gave Baltimore something even more valuable than momentum: belief. Belief in their system, belief in their coaches, belief in each other. Monken earned back a ton of respect, and the locker room feels alive again. The key now is to keep building. Keep leaning on the run game. Keep using play action to open up the deep shots, and most importantly, keep that energy alive. Forget egos, forget targets, forget stats. Wins are what matter. Use the run to set up the pass. Use Lamar when he's back to control the rhythm. Spread the ball, keep defenses guessing, and don't let that fire fade. Because when this Ravens team is having fun, when they're locked in and playing loose, they're one of the toughest teams in football. You could see it in every celebration, every high five, every sideline moment. The vibes were back. And after everything this team has gone through this season, that might just be the biggest win of all. You could just feel it in the air. The swagger was back. The Ravens looked like a team that finally remembered who they are. The defense was flying around, the offense was clicking, and the sideline had that spark that's been missing for weeks. Even Todd Monken, who usually keeps things measured, was out there yelling, fist-pumping, and celebrating every big play like he was one of the guys. That kind of energy spreads. When your play caller is that fired up, when he's that emotionally invested, it lifts everyone. Players feel it. Fans feel it. The whole stadium feels it. And that's what made this one special. It wasn't just about stats or schemes or adjustments. It was about belief. Belief that even without Lamar Jackson, this team can still find a way. Belief that the system works. Belief that all the hours of preparation and the grind behind the scenes actually pay off. You could tell the players trusted each other again. The chemistry was there. The communication was sharp. The mistakes that have haunted them all season, the missed blocks, the blown coverages, the sloppy penalties, those things were cleaned up. For the first time in a while, the Ravens looked disciplined and confident from start to finish. Todd Monken's fingerprints were all over it. You could see it in the way he mixed up formations, the tempo changes, the use of motion to get defenders off balance. He's not afraid to get creative, and that's what makes him so dangerous when he's in rhythm. There were moments in that game where it felt like he was playing chess while the Bears were still figuring out checkers. He was calling plays with purpose, setting things up 2 or 3 snaps ahead, manipulating coverage, getting guys open in space. That's what great coordinators do. They dictate the flow of the game, not just react to it. And even though Monken caught all that criticism earlier in the season, this was the kind of performance that silences doubters. People forget that adapting to a new offensive identity takes time. It's not plug and play, especially when you're building around a quarterback like Lamar, whose skill set is so unique. There's no blueprint for what Baltimore does offensively when Lamar's healthy. It's a one-of-one system. So when he's not there, Monken has to rewire everything on the fly and still find ways to win. That's not easy, but he did it. The players clearly bought in too. Tyler Huntley deserves a ton of credit. He played within himself, didn't force the big throws, and trusted the system. You could see the confidence growing with each drive. The rhythm between Huntley and his receivers was smoother than it's been all year. The offensive line gave him just enough time to operate, and when he needed to move, he made smart decisions with his legs. That poise under pressure doesn't happen unless the coaching staff prepares him the right way. Monken and Harbaugh gave him a plan that fit his strengths, and he executed it like a pro. Then there's the backfield. Man, what a difference Keaton Mitchell makes. Every time he touches the ball, you can feel the stadium hold its breath. That 25-yard burst up the sideline wasn't just a big play. It was a statement. He brings that spark, that electricity that can flip momentum instantly. And pairing him with Derrick Henry is such a smart move. Henry's the hammer that softens up a defense, and then Mitchell comes in with that speed that kills. Defenders are gassed, and suddenly he's gone before they even react. That's balance. That's how you build a dynamic running attack. John Harbaugh clearly sees it too. He said after the game that they've made it a point to get Mitchell more touches, and it's about time. The kid's earned it. He's waited patiently, stayed ready, and when his number was called, he delivered. That's what you want from your young players. That hunger, that readiness, that give me the ball and I'll make something happen mentality. The Ravens need that edge on offense. Defensively, it was the same story, energy everywhere. Nate Wiggins' interception was one of those moments that just summed up the night. A young player stepping up in a big spot, and even Monken was losing his mind trying to fist bump him afterward. That's the kind of passion that shows how united this group is. Everyone was feeding off that moment. The defense played with purpose, shutting down the Bears' attack, swarming to the ball, and making every yard hard to earn. But as good as this win felt, it also came with a lesson. The Ravens can't afford to get comfortable. This league moves fast, and Thursday's matchup against the Dolphins will be a real test. Miami's explosive, they'll stretch the field vertically, and they'll punish any lapse in discipline. If Baltimore wants to prove this wasn't just a one-week fluke, they have to bring that same intensity, that same focus, every snap. The formula is simple, really. Run the ball. Control the tempo. Let the defense set the tone early. And when the opportunities come, take your shots downfield. Lamar Jackson should be back, and when he's on the field, everything opens up. Monken has shown he can craft a plan that fits whoever's under center. But with Lamar's mobility and vision, the possibilities expand tenfold. That's when this offense becomes truly dangerous. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with whispers that could shake the league to its core. Sources close to the Baltimore Ravens hint that the team is on the verge of a blockbuster move, one that could redefine the meaning of defensive dominance. The talk around the league? Baltimore is reportedly closing in on securing KHALIL MACK, the ferocious pass rusher whose mere presence on the field strikes fear into quarterbacks everywhere. While nothing is officially confirmed, insiders suggest the Ravens front office has been quietly laying the groundwork for a deal that would send shockwaves through the AFC. Imagine MACK lining up alongside Baltimore's already formidable defensive core, a pairing that could create nightmares for opposing offenses week after week. The prospect alone has fans and analysts alike speculating. Could this be the piece that finally elevates Baltimore's defense from elite to truly unstoppable? MACK's reputation precedes him. Known for his relentless motor and uncanny ability to disrupt games, he's a player capable of changing the trajectory of a season with a single play. Baltimore, with its shrewd management and hunger for dominance, seems like a perfect landing spot. Rumors suggest that the team is willing to offer a deal that would make MACK one of the highest-paid defenders in the league, a move that signals their intent not just to compete, but to dominate. Social media is already aflame. Fans are dreaming of highlight reels filled with MACK's signature sacks and bone-crushing tackles. Analysts are debating scheme adjustments, wondering how the Ravens could deploy him to maximize havoc. Even rival teams are reportedly paying close attention, quietly assessing how they might counter this potential powerhouse. Of course, until official confirmation arrives, it's all speculation. But in Baltimore, the buzz is undeniable. The notion of KHALIL MACK in Ravens purple has transformed from idle chatter into a tantalizing possibility that could define the offseason, and perhaps the entire NFL landscape, for years to come. If the rumors hold any truth, one thing is clear. Baltimore isn't just building a team, they're building a fortress. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.